Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil and today we are going to be looking at the calves. I'm going to be running through a bit of our calf management while they're on the feeder. So we're going to run through what calves I have to look at and how I decide whether I need to go put in a calf or not. And also we are coming near the end of some of the calves being on the feeder. They're just about to hit the weaning period. So I want to run through all the calves that are coming up to the weaning period to make sure that they are good enough to be weaned off. So we'll be doing that as well. And we'll also be going to the other feeder and the other shed and doing the same down there, only there's no calves coming off milk down there for another while. So first things first anyways, we're going to put some milk replacer into it. So as you can see there, we'll probably get 2 bags into it. So I'll find somewhere to put this down and we'll put 2 bags in. Now, someone asked me about how do we mix the seaweed in. So this is my seaweed here. We're buying it in 10 kilo buckets. So how we mix it in? So I've worked out I need 2 of these, 2 packed of these 50ml scoops. Shake it in on top. Now, preferably if there's 2 of us, you'd shake it in as you're pouring in the bag. But just when you've that done, then you just put in your hand and you give it an old swirl around. And it makes itself in reasonably well. Is it the most accurate way of doing it? Not in the slightest. It's no way accurate, but it seems to be doing the job, because so far in this shed, 1 casualty, touch all the fucking wood around me, fantastic weaning, and I think we've only had 4 instances of pneumonia. We haven't lost a calf to pneumonia yet, but we have 1 calf in there at the minute. I don't think it's going to make it. Battling away a while, but we'll have a look at that calf when we get in there. But and the only difference is we're putting in seaweed. It's the same milk replacer, same everything, and there's a few less calves. 138 in the shed, so there's, what is that, 10, just about 10 less calves in the shed. And we seem to be getting on ferocious well compared to other years. Just completely different ball game. I will have stats at the end of the year of how we did, and we'll be able to have a statistical look at the improvement in the calves or in our sickness rates and that. But the only difference is that seaweed, so I'm taking it that it's doing the job anyways. But we'll get the next bag put into this. I'll stop ranting. Also, if you're looking for the seaweed, I'll leave a link to the website down below and a number you can give a ring if you are looking for some. And you find it in most of your co-op, but the co-ops are kind of closed at the minute, so I suppose you're not really going to find it in your co-op. But anyways, so that's that. So now, that's our seaweed in. So, where'd I put my whiteboard? There it is. So I have a whiteboard here for writing down the numbers as I find them. But where's my pen go? There it is there. It's quite hard to hold everything. Right. I'll probably just pick that up when I need it now. So we go to our list and we start off at the bottom, 694. So that's the first calf. So what I'm looking for, you can see a boarhead, so that's how many times he's been in today without feeding his full amount, how much he left from yesterday, how much he's left to drink today, and how much he has to drink per day. So what I'm looking for now is whether, see this one here now, so 4.2, so he didn't drink 4.2 litres and he hasn't drank today, so that means I need to go check this calf. That's actually a calf that I've never had to check before. That's one of the original 4 calves. So I get my board now and I write down 696. And I repeat that process till I get to the end, and hopefully I haven't too many. Normally it's about 4 or 5 morning and evening. Most of the time it's the same calves. So flick through it. So I'm only looking for, so you can see here he's 1.8 on the bottom. If it's 2.8 or more, and he hasn't fed, that means I want to put him in. If it's less than 2.8, I don't put him in. The reason I be kind of harsh on that is because if you spend all your time putting in all the calves that haven't fed and all of that, all you're doing is making pets. You end up institutionalizing your calves that they will only go into the feeder when you appear. They won't feed themselves. So it's to get that balance right. So there's another calf, 708. So it's all about trying to get that balance right without affecting calf performance and without missing calves and without creating pets. It's a bit of a juggling act, but I think the way I'm doing it at the minute has working quite well. So it is, because we don't have any major issues with pets. There's only 2 or 3. So there's another one. So this is the calf that is sick with pneumonia. Fed a small bait yesterday. I stomach tubed him yesterday as well, but we'll have a look at him and I'll see what I'm going to do. I might try and put him in the feeder if he's not too bad. So you can see there a 1.8 with 6 litres. I'm not going to bother. It's only when that bottom number is high and that top number hasn't drank that I put in the calf. It's just to try and get the feeder to do what it should be doing. So you can see there's 2.4. That's actually one of my pets. So in the case of the pets where I've put them in twice a day, they end up with that 2.4. It means they haven't fed. So he's a calf that I'm going to have to put in because he doesn't go in himself. He's one of the pets. 1039. So we have 3 calves to put in: 696, 708 and 1039. Please excuse that 1039, I did not write that very well. So they're the 3 calves I have to look at to see why they didn't drink. Now I know 1039, he's just a pet. He probably actually is around the feeder somewhere, or he's in the feeder. So there he is there. That's 1039. And this is what you find with pets. When you end up with pets, they only come to the feeder when you're here, and when you're here they'll feed themselves. Right, 1362 here, I think I remember in some of my older videos I mentioned him as a pet. He's now feeding himself, but as you can see he still comes to the feeder when I'm here. So anyways, that's at least one calf I don't have to find. So I know 708, 696 is actually quite a big calf, and I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't had to do anything with him. But anyways, so that's them. So what I'm going to do now, first I'm going to write down the number of all the calves that's going to come off milk, so that when I'm in there I can do that as well. So I need my book and I need my pen, not in me waste water. Lovely. So what I need to do then, I go back to my beginning, 694. So you can see there day 42, and it's at day 44 when they start coming off milk. And I've changed the feeder that the calves are going to drop down from 6 litres down to 3 litres in the space of a day. And that was on the advice of a man I was talking to at the ploughing match, that was telling me about trials that were done in the UK where they dropped the amount of milk being fed to the calves very severely in the space of a day. Literally no real. What we used to do was it went down gradually till 2 litres and then off. But he was saying when you gave it a big drop, all of a sudden that calf was hungry, and that calf ate more meal, he ate more haylage, silage, whatever you were feeding them, grass if they had grass, and it helped transition them a lot better. So I'm going to trial that on this feeder and see how we get on. Also, we haven't a shed open out onto the paddock yet. That's probably one of the next things I'd like to get done, especially with the calves coming off milk. Is there any grass out there? Not a bit. I'll put fertilizer out there later today, and to get them out, them bales of straw will have to be moved, and I'll probably have to get in with the telly. I don't think I'll be able to dig them up because, as you can see, the calves have one bale tramped into the ground. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So next step is to find my book, go to the back pages. Where am I going? And now it's a matter of writing down all the numbers. So I'll go write them down and speed this up, not to slow you down, but that is what I'm doing. All the cattle that are from day 40 and above, to see how they're doing, to see whether I'll take them down or not. So I'll see if I can find somewhere to put this down. So now everyone, I have my numbers here, 24 numbers. So I'll have to go around now and find all these calves, and then grade them, whether they're good to stay on course or whether I need to put them back so many days to give them more time. That's just how I do it. So anyways, this is going to be quite interesting, trying to hold this and look at calves. So we'll just walk around and we'll find calves. Have we any 700s up to 717, 14s 1485 to 1511, and that's it. There's only 2 batches of calves that are coming. There's one there, 1493. This lad here seems good. Good strong white calf. He's okay. So then it's a matter of 1493. Tick on my book. Tick to say he's okay, and then find the rest of them. And also we'll have a little update on the calves. Who am I looking for? 707, 694. Yeah, so I'll have a look at all our calves as well when I'm at it, if I can remember. So this is going to be quite interesting. I might, so we've seen the first one, I'll do another one, and then I will skip on to whenever. Who's that? 1383. I'll skip on then till I get it finished, because there's far too many calves to be looking at. So there's one, 696. He's one for off, and that is 696 is Ringo. So there's Ringo there now. He's a good calf. He's actually one of the calves that didn't drink, that need to be checked on. Not a loss in him, I'd say. He's ate a heap of meal and he's just not that bothered about his milk anymore. So that's a good thing. So he gets a tick, Ringo, and that's one of the things we like to see. There's another one now, 1511. Another one for off. Calf is, he's just a little bit empty of himself. So he is. He's a little bit empty of himself. So what I'll do is, I think I'll give him another 5 days. So then I just on the, it's very hard doing all of this now. So I just go and I mark down 5 days beside him. And then I move his start date on the feeder, and that gives him the extra days on milk. Right, so I'll put down this, and when I come across the calves that we look after, or they're named, we'll have a look at them. And just while I'm here, 713, this is the boy with pneumonia. So he still is alright, but you can see the blow on him there. And I don't, you might be able to hear it, but you can hear him wheezing as well. He's not great. He's actually on the list, so he's not coming off indefinitely, so we'll peg him back 20 days. But I don't know, I had him over it. He got 4 shots 4 days in a row, and he had seemed to pull out of him, was feeding away himself. Last 3 days he went, I think 3 days no bother feeding away, and then the last 3 days he's been in a bad way with pneumonia. But he's still, it's very hard to know. I wouldn't have much faith in him now. I'm getting over it. I've seen calves with less of a blow on them that have popped dead. But even if he does survive, one of the things that might most likely will happen to him, he'll be fine. We'll get him out weaned onto grass. The change in the weather, you go from some nice warm weather to some wet windy weather, his lungs give up and he's dead. That's what we find a lot when you get a calf that comes over a bad case of pneumonia. They still end up dying. But anyways, I'll go and we'll check the rest of these calves and look at all the named calves, the pets or whatever you want to call them. So there's Kong now. He's not for coming off, but that's their Cemental Angus. Great lump of a calf, doing well. He's not for coming off yet, though. He's another while to go. So here's 699 Dennis, one of the original calves. He's for off. He's actually looking quite good there now. Quite good. You can see the calves have broken down the barrier. I think he's good enough for coming off. Yeah, they broke down the chicane and now it's like a ramp for them to climb up and jump off. Anyways, he's good enough to come off. So here's our blue heifer. Blue, she's not for coming off yet. She still has quite a while to go, 20 days or so, but she's doing very well indeed. So here's 707 Jimmy. What up, Jimmy? Come on, up. No, he's getting up. So he's one for off as well. That's Jimmy the Jersey. empty of himself. Give him a nice big stretch there. I think we might just leave him back another 5 days, get a bit more feeding in him. You might do him no harm now. He's just that little bit empty of himself, a little bit lackluster. So we give him 5 more days. So there's 15, 16. That's Kevin. He's not for coming off now, but he's doing very well. He still has a while to go. Also, beside him is Paul. You may remember I was quite concerned about Paul. He just seemed to be wasting away, but he's come to a holy terror. To be perfectly honest, I wasn't expecting him to die, but he's come to a holy terror. So he has. Now he is marked for coming off, but I'm not going to take him off. He needs more feed, but he has come to, and it's been great to see Paul come back out of it. So I'm going to give him another 10 days anyways and see how we go from there. Also, oh yeah, 694, what's his name, Colin. There's Colin there now. He's for coming off, and he's in good fettle. He's in great fettle. He's a great square lump of a calf for a Jersey, so he is a great square lump of a calf. So he's good for coming off. Nearly there now. Only a handful more to check, and I have them all checked then. Here's Chris now, 1374, grey Angus calf, great square lump of a calf. He's not for off, but great lump of a calf all the same. So now my father's just pegging bales in there, try and break the wind, but I have it done. Couldn't find one calf, 1510. I'll just have a look on the feeder just to see that if he's fully fed, then he's probably okay. He is, yeah, he's a fully fed calf. So just keep an eye out when I'm walking through the shed before. So probably there 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 out of the 24 calves are good to come off, or no, sorry, 7 of the calves are not good to come off. One of them, 713, he's dodgy enough. So to change these, then all I gotta do is find my calf. So 695, and then I go to the information of the calf. I need to put in my password so that I can change it, and then I change the start date by bringing it forward 25 days, or no, sorry, 10 days. So he's now the 30th, the 2nd, which there isn't, so he's now the 1st to the 3rd. And then if I go back, he's back more than 10 days anyways. But yeah, that's what I have to do now, just put them back. It just means they get that bit extra on meal. Why is this on the ground? They get that bit extra milk, and it generally, that's just what they need to get over it. I can also see how much the calves have fed, so it likes to, wait, which button do I press? This button. So I can see 695, Paul has drank 179 litres of milk in his time on the feeder, so I can see that. So anyways, I'll go and I'll bang through them numbers, and we'll go down to the other shed and have a look at them. And there's probably a lot to feed, because I'll explain to you why. Just have a bit of a layout problem, I think, is what the problem is, but I'll show you when we get down there. But I'll bang in these numbers and we get motoring. Also, just something I want to mention, just on the 7 calves, 6 of them are from the one herd and 1 of them from the other herd. So there's 2 herds there, but just to show the difference in quality of calves, one herd has 6 calves that need to go back, whereas one herd only has 1 calf. And that's the difference in your calf quality coming from different farms, because that is one of the biggest variables at this job, is the quality of calves coming from farms. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I've that done now, so we'll be on down to the other shed and get, well, actually I'll go and I'll look after 713 in there. I'll see, will he come up to the feeder and drink a bit? He probably won't, but we'll have a go anyways. Now everyone, we're in the new calf shed. I don't actually think I've shown you this before. I want to get shown setting it up and whatnot, but apart from pegging out the milk pin, I think that's all I actually showed you. So we have to empty our cleanings, needs powder, and then we run through the numbers. And also it's kind of doubling up as a machinery shed. The 3690 is parked in here, and the 35X. But that's neither here nor there. We might try and get a bit done. It's a Sunday, so I might try and get another bit done with that, and I want to go spread fertilizer with that. So that's my plans for the rest of the day once I have this done. But anyways, we'll go and get this filled up with milk replacer and seaweed and empty that. So now everyone, I have me calves marked down there. 3 calves, 24.70, 24.59, 25.54. They're the ones I have to put into the feeder. They're this side, this pen. The last calves are in that pen. We have 2 more load of calves to get. So we'll be putting in another 30 odd calves, I think is the plan. And then that's it. No more calves. It'll be a big reduction on how many calves we reared the last number of years. The biggest reason for it, as most of you should know by now, my uncle just isn't able to work. And just on that, my uncle has finally got home. I haven't told you a whole lot about what happened, but I think I can tell you now. My uncle has finally got home out of hospital. He was 104 days in hospital, all from the beginning of December right up until 2 weeks ago. He came out 2 weeks ago. Why he was in hospital, he had a cancerous growth in the bottom of his stomach, at the top of his bowels, that had blocked his stomach, left him that he wasn't able to eat, wasn't able to process food. He got sick again. But he's home now, he's doing well, but it'll be a long time before he's able to do anything out in the yard, if he ever does again. And so yeah, that was the story with my uncle. So now you know. But he's home anyways, and that is just the biggest thing for us now at the minute, to get him home. We do have extra help now. My girlfriend is here with us, living with me, so she looks after the calves every evening, and is a huge help in that regard. And now with me 2 sisters at home, now that their colleges are closed, we now have extra hands on deck, so we should be well able to manage the extra workload. No bother to us. Anyways, we'll go get these calves into that feeder, and that's it then. We're finished looking at the calves, and I can move on to doing a bit with the 3690 and getting some fertilizer out with the 35X. So we'll go put in the calves. So now everyone, that is them fed. I wrote down a number wrong, and the calf was following me around the whole time, and the calf's number is 25.49 and I put down 24.59. I couldn't find the calf, I had to go check the feeder. But anyways, that's them fed there now. So actually that was quite good, my 3 calves. Now just what I was saying in the other shed about the layout, we were feeding up to 10 calves a day here, twice a day, but they weren't going in. In this side, that side is feeding 100%. But the reason for this side, I think, is because you can see the 2 stations, and then they can go this side. Like there's calves that stand here that need to be fed, but never get in because they need to be standing that side. And I think that is one of the design flaws in this shed. Your feeders kind of want to be in a corner where the calves can congregate when they need to be fed, and they don't end up being stupid and end up coming down the side and standing there waiting to get in. So anyways, that is it. Also, just something I want to say, someone had been mentioning, do we have any Aubrac calves, or were we getting any? And I'm glad to say in some of the next load we're getting a couple of Aubrac calves. I'm very excited about. Look at them at the ploughing match in the Aubrac stand. The Dairy Cross ones, they look fantastic. We're very excited to get our hands on a few. So they're coming in the next load of calves, and that is really it. I think I've covered everything. So that's how we manage the calves. That's another bit of information. So my father's just here at the Jeep now. We're going to go do all the herding and check what grass we have out there, and whether we can get more cattle out or not. And what I'm going to do is go finish off this video. I'm going to put this feeder on time lapse into the shed and watch the calves feeding away. So watch the end of the video. It's very interesting watching the calves do what they do when no one's around. I'll say head up there while we're doing that. And that is it for today's video, so make sure to check out the very end of it. Just a very nice little bit. So I got a few other jobs to do today, but that is it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you an insight on how we manage the calves, and merch, Amazon store, all that, everything you need and want to know is in the description down below. That is it for me. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Good luck.